Last time on Square Roots, we bust out of jail, bust up some assassins, bust into Oblivion, and bust a move on a monk named Martin.
You want it, you got it. You want it, Beanie, you got it.
And welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined by Matthew Van Zandt.
Hey, boy!
John Mysterium Xerxes Brandon.
I love that, actually.
And Vanessa.
Hello, Ryu. Have you heard the good news about our Lord and Savior, Platypunk?
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about classic RPGs. In this case, is this episode 2 of Oblivion?
Yeah.
That's fun. We're playing Oblivion.
That is fun.
Elder Scrolls 4,
Yeah.
Oblivion.
Oblivion.
Let's see. We're playing to the acquisition of, the cult book, the Mysterium Xerxes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This whole chunker ends with, like, probably one of the most free-form, you can solve this scenario in any way you want things we've done in any game so far.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah, I like that. People give this game a hard time, but that part is neat. It's like a real Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
It's a real choose-your-own-adventure.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. Uh-oh.
Why do people give this game a hard time?
Because it's like it set the standard for what every Bethesda game was going to be, and I think a lot of people really don't like that because the combat's not great. I think it's the biggest thing.
Some people think that it's not a real role-playing game because you aren't playing a prescribed role.
Mm-hmm.
And by some people, I mean Chad Mozart.
But Chad Mozart was talking about player agency, and I think like that last section has the most player agency of any of the games we've played so far.
Certainly more than a
It only matters
JRPG.
if it's player agency in a game that Chad Mozart likes.
Okay,
Does
let's not
Chad
rag
Mozart like any
our
games?
listeners.
'Cause I don't think I've ever heard him say he did.
Chad Mozart, just for our listeners trying to follow along with this conversation at home, Chad Mozart, disgraced former co-host, the original Vanessa.
Wow.
Oh my god. I'm not
I like
comfortable
the idea
with
that
that.
you replaced him.
I
That's
think that we
canon
were
now.
on the same episode. Wasn't that
Yeah,
the
is
case?
True?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
I
an
don't know.
open audition
Yeah, it was
for
like one of those
fourth host.
interviews where all the candidates are there being interviewed at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can get out your little where in the world is Vanessa girl notebook. Vanessa beat up Chad Mozart.
So, guys, before we talk about how we infiltrated the cult, let's talk about how we leveled up this week.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Vanessa, and I'm a popaholic.
Hi, Vanessa.
I love Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh, gross.
Oh,
No, come
gross.
on.
No.
Oh, no.
That
Oh.
is disgusting.
Wow.
It's
I
not.
don't want
It's
to live on this
not.
earth
I can't
anymore.
believe this.
It's
This
a
is
great
a betrayal
show.
of everything we know about
Oh,
Vanessa.
No.
It's wonderful.
Who are you?
Vanessa.
Oh.
It's so satisfying to see these people who have these problems, and then by
Oh,
the end
boy.
of the show, their problem is gone.
Oh, boy.
Like their problem was this like big, weighty, growing
Okay.
bubble that was just, pushing
don't
them
like
down,
this.
and then it just pops like a little balloon and floats away.
Oh, we need all the content warnings on this one.
Look, it's not a show for everyone. And I'll admit that. And for a long time, I thought it wouldn't be a show for me. But then I was watching the television and I happened to flip to it. And I was like, oh, this is sort of interesting. And I was, texting with a friend on my phone. And I was like, hey, I'm watching this show. And she was like, I have watched every episode of that show. I love it. Just wait. This and this and this is going to happen. And I was like, oh, that sounds dope. I'm not.
I thought this was just a YouTube thing. Is it like a real TV show?
It's a real TV show. It started out YouTube, and now it's on E or something like that. After I saw the show, I became familiar. I read an article about her and the phenomena of her fandom, and I guess there's whole Reddits out there, and people are super into it. I'm not going to go on Reddit or anything like that. But she references during her show, oh, some people like to watch this and they find it really relaxing. And I'm like, you know what? I find it pretty relaxing. So there you go. I'm a popaholic and I'm not ashamed.
I have a few hard and fast rules on social media. One of them is if somebody shares a Dr. Pimple Popper video, they are getting hidden from my timeline.
I'm not going to do that. I recognize that some people don't want to see that, and that is a perfectly valid choice. I have tried to keep my description as undetailed and least graphical as possible. Raw chicken. Matt,
What?
how did you level up?
I can't follow that. I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to get my stomach under control over here.
I think
All I
Vanessa
did
has
was say the
activated some
name
kind
of the show.
sleeper
I didn't
agent.
even talk about it or anything like that.
How did Matt level up? What did Matt do?
I also
Matt had things
Botched.
he was going to talk about.
Botched
And
is
now-
a good show where people have had bad plastic surgery and then they
Oh,
go get
come
it
on.
fixed. Well, I do.
I watched a movie today called Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Does it still have muscular Andy from Parks and Rec?
Yep, it still has Muscular Andy from Parks and Rec.
Was he
Okay.
And they
heckin'
actually-
dreamy?
They gave him the chance to have a few more comedic moments. They did him better, but overall it's pretty mediocre. So if you want to watch another mediocre Jurassic Park spinoff movie, that's the one for you.
What did you think of Jurassic Park 3?
Jurassic Park 3 is pretty okay. It's got good chompy dinosaurs and Sam Neill.
Yep.
And I like him.
And it's got the guy that I like. The one who's not Steve Buscemi, the other guy.
That's,
William H. Macy.
Yeah, he's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
William H. Macy is not Steve Buscemi. I can affirm that.
But they knew who I was talking about when I said not William H. Macy, or not Steve Buscemi. So, obviously that means something to someone.
I would say that Jeff Bridges is not William H. Macy.
That is also
I would
true.
say that Matthew Van Zandt is not Steve Buscemi.
Nobody has
So-
ever mentioned Matthew Van Zandt and Steve Buscemi in the same sentence, and you know
You
it.
just did.
Oh no!
Whoa.
I fell
This is
into your
technically
trap.
media. The media has just linked Matthew Van Zandt and Steve Buscemi.
Are we technically RPG experts?
I mean, I am.
I will never, ever claim, I will never have that much credibility.
Yeah.
Experts.
I'm absolutely an RPG expert. Ask me anything. Anything.
Okay. What sort of leveling up structure do you like?
I like it when the numbers go up.
Oh, good.
That's just an opinion. You don't have to be an expert to answer that. Matt,
Yeah, that's a
what
good
was
point.
the first digital Western RPG to be widely embraced by mainstream gamer culture?
Clearly the answer to that is Call of Dragon Cthulhu Born. The most popular game ever made back on the Nintendo Plus.
Nintendo Plus sounds like a real system.
Yeah.
It does.
I kind of want one.
No, it would probably suck.
Oh,
So, who's leveling up now? Is it John?
sure. I can level up. You did tease Jim with being able to level up, and then I interrupted
Yeah, that's
that.
okay.
Oh, okay. So that's
I like to. I'm edging right now. So.
that meme you posted that meme you posted about Meredith's car. Didn't it have Goofy in it for some reason?
Yeah.
It was.
Jim leveled up by making everyone else unhappy about his happiness.
Everyone was super disturbed by that meme.
Oh, gosh. Okay, well, let's see. How did I level up? I watched more Star Trek. Are we sick of us talking about Star Trek yet? What do you think?
Yeah, tell me about your car.
What? My
Tell
car?
me about your car. That was a great level up.
Like oh, okay. I'll tell you about my car. So Friday night, I was at the office. You know, normal night. Everything was going great.
Being like business. I'm a businessman.
It was about 10:45 when I decided to leave the office. My coworker Matthew had come in, a different Matthew, had come in around 9 to park his car. Mm-hmm. And I went downstairs to drive my car out of the garage, and the door did not open. And I was like, what is up? Why is the door not opening? And so I called my boss to call the guy who runs the building to be like, hey, you need to fix your garage door. But he said he didn't want to prop it open till tomorrow, so he wasn't going to open it. So I had to take public transit and a SkyTrain home. But then the next day, Vanessa, I found out what happened.
What happened?
Well, Matthew and I had noticed there's a big hole in the grating above the garage door, which looked weird and I hadn't seen before. And someone had used a bolt cutter to pry open that, then used a bolt cutter to cut the arm to the garage door so they could prop it open. So then they used a bolt cutter at the storage area at the back of the garage. Between when Matthew got there at 9 and I left at 10:30, they cut the bolts and stole a bunch of stuff, like the nice Corvettes. And I don't know if they touched the nice Corvettes that are in the basement, but there are nice Corvettes.
Oh, they stole cars?
I don't know. I don't think they touched that. I don't know what they stole, but they seem to know what they were going after, something in the back.
Golly.
Yeah.
Dang.
And I just must have narrowly missed the thieves because they came in during that short period.
That's kind of scary. You don't know if they were armed or prepared to use violence or whatever.
I don't know. There's a whole lot of mystery and adventure going on in that story.
Is a lot of mystery and of adventure.
You know what else is mysterious and filled with adventure?
DuckTales.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion?
The space station, Deep Space Nine.
Oh, no.
I saw some interesting episodes. There's an episode where Jake and Kira got possessed by paw wraiths and they were doing a Dragon Ball fight. Have you seen that
I remember that. That was stupid.
And I just watched the episode called, was it Lace and something in Lace? Prophets in Lace, where Quark has to pretend to be a lady Ferengi to get the Grand Nagus Zek reinstated. It was not a very good episode, although it was Shakespearean.
Lady Ferengis don't wear clothes, so how did Quark pass as a Lady Ferengi?
Because he was playing one of this was right when Zek passed the law saying Lady Ferengis could wear clothes and work.
Ah.
And that's why he got deposed. It is not a good episode, and it's a really weird way to end the season. And it's almost the last episode, and now I'm at the episode where Molly got stuck in a cave and aged 10 years, and that seems like a really depressing episode. So,
yeah.
Oh boy. Deep Space Nine Season 6, what are you doing?
Talk about Julian Bashir.
He's now a spy, I guess, although they haven't talked about it since because they're like, well, it looks like Julian Bashir is joining Section 31, the top secret illegal Federation spy group. But let's talk about Quark dressing up as a lady and more about the O'Briens.
Mm-hmm.
So the show is decided to ignore Bashir and his becoming a super cool spy.
Which is actually an interesting thing.
Yep. The show's making some weird choices here that I'm not sure I can totally follow. After frankly, some of the best Star Trek episodes I've ever seen, They're like, well, we burned through these good scripts, but we do want to make sure we have 26 episodes. So,
Well, I think they want to make sure that every character gets their screen time.
I guess so. But Avery Brooks seems to not be in a lot of episodes.
Avery Brooks has other things to do.
Jim.
Yeah.
How did you level up?
Couple things.
Thing one.
First, I'm playing the
Lots of
PlayStation
fun.
4 exclusive Spider-Man.
Oh, is he strong?
He's strong. Listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood.
That doesn't sound very strong to me. In fact, that sounds like someone who is
Yeah.
very,
He has a
very
medical
sick.
condition.
Yeah.
He's strong-willed.
I guess you have to be to get through having radioactive blood.
Yeah.
But no, it's a really good game, and I feel like I've played it a ton, and it's still going, and it's still fun all the time. So it's good. I like it. Everyone should play it if you have a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that's on my list.
Also, I do want to mention the meme that John referenced earlier. This past week, my girlfriend bought a new car, so I posted a meme on her Facebook wall that said, "Nice car, mind if I come on it?"
Oh, Jim!
Goofy in the
And it had Goofy on it for some reason.
And it was spelled C-U-M.
Yeah. Good meme. Really excited about it. I wanted to tell her congratulations about her new car, and I guess that's how I do that.
I like one of her friends said, I hope it has leather seats.
Oh, man.
Gross.
Great job.
What a good week.
So is that your level up?
That's my level up, yeah.
So Spider-Man. Tell us more about this game.
So it's a third person action game. It really nails the getting around the city as Spider-Man part. The combat is very similar to the Arkham games in that there's prompts for you to dodge enemy attacks.
I really like that combat. I know Matthew does not.
Yeah, I really don't like that combat.
But it flows really well. It's still challenging, and you can zip from bad guy to bad guy with your webs, and there's lots of cool stuff you can do, like rip their weapons out of their hands and then throw the weapons at other enemies, and it's all very fluid and fun.
Can you turn off the prompts?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because you can in Arkham if you want it harder.
It's a good question. I don't know. I haven't looked. I'm playing the game on normal mode, and it's pretty challenging in some spots. It really challenges you to keep be aware of where your enemies are, and there's cool upgrades you can get. Some higher level enemies have rocket launchers.
Oh.
There's upgrades you can get to grab the rockets in midair with your web and swing them around and send them back at the bad guys.
Wouldn't that kill them?
Well, they're the rockets are covered in web, so they just splat and knock the guys over.
Oh, okay.
Oh, splat rocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, splat rocket.
How many
Speaking of
costumes
splat
have you
rockets.
collected?
I probably have 15
Jeez.
Spidey suits at this point.
What's your favorite?
Really, I've stuck with the second one that you get because each suit has a power attached to it that you can activate in combat, and the game has a mechanic called focus, and your focus meter builds as you do combos and as you do damage to enemies. And once the bar fills up, you can do a finisher on an enemy. And you also use your focus to heal. So as your focus builds, you can press a button on the controller and it will recover some of your health. So there's a suit that when you activate the power, it just continuously builds focus for 30 seconds. So you can heal and do finishers on enemies and stuff. So I've been sticking with that one. Because it's good in a pinch.
I have 2 questions about the game and one additional question.
Okay.
Question 1.
You can have lots of fun.
The geography of Manhattan in the Spider-Man game true to life?
I hear it's mostly pretty accurate. All the big landmarks are there, and all the boroughs are in the correct position, and it seems pretty pretty true to reality.
Okay. Question 2.
There's so much we can do.
Is there a Stark Tower in this Manhattan?
There is. It is branded as the Avengers Tower, and it's the tallest building on the island, I believe.
Question.
Have any other Marvel characters showed up other than Spider-Man people?
How dare you interrupt my question time with your own question?
Sub-question. Side question.
No, they've all been Spider-Man adjacent so far.
Did Venom talk about turds in the wind?
No Venom.
Okay.
No Venom. Yet, anyway.
Question 3.
It's just you and me.
Y'all seen that real life Stark Tower they're building in Manhattan there?
No.
No?
Oh, they're building this new tower. It'll look just like the Stark Tower from the movies. Look it up.
Oh.
Who is building that?
I don't know. Tony Stark.
Cool.
Is it Grimes that's building that? She's like, you got money. Hey, Elon, can we build a tower like in
I thought they
the Marvel
broke up.
movies? Oh, maybe.
You smoked on Joe Rogan. I don't love you anymore.
Oh.
That's what happened.
I found out that Joe Rogan and Adam Carolla were both on The Man Show.
No, that's not true.
I don't think Joe Rogan was on it.
No,
Was he?
it was
Okay.
Jimmy Kimmel and Adam
Nope.
Carolla.
Yeah.
In season 3 or
Yeah?
4, Joe
Oh.
Rogan was also on The Man Show.
What?
Oh, wow.
That's too many. I mean,
I
one
know.
of them is too many, but 3
Yeah.
of them? No, I don't like.
Mm-hmm. That was the worst show ever made. Other than maybe like Triumph of the Will and what was the one about the Ku Klux Klan? Birth of a Nation.
Was that a terrible show?
Well, I mean, Birth of a Nation, the movie about how good the Ku Klux Klan is from 1916 or
Oh,
17.
I thought you meant like there was a movie that came out like a year and a half ago that was about like people triumphing over slavery, I think, called Birth of a Nation.
Yeah, that was the sort of an echo, like a echo of the what's this D.W. Griffith film about how awesome the Ku Klux Klan were.
No.
That Woodrow Wilson said was an amazing film.
Yikes, Woodrow Wilson.
I know. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, let's talk about Oblivion.
Oblivion.
You guys ready?
Uh-huh.
SkullQuest log.
Y'all should go to Manhattan and look at that new tower they're building. It looks just like Stark Tower.
I tried Googling it, and it doesn't seem real. Vanessa's making shit up, guys. She's telling fibs.
Vanessa, smoke on your pipe and put that in.
Time for the quest log. Let's talk about this dumb game.
See, where did we leave off last time? So we met Martin Septum, who is the hidden how do they refer to him? He was like a hidden baby.
Yeah.
Hidden royal baby.
Yeah, that's exactly what they call him. Hidden Royal Baby.
The hidden royal baby.
Martin Septum. He's heir to the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Voiced by Sean Bean.
He's a pretty chill dude.
And
He's a pretty chill guy.
as I found out walking through the forest between Kvatch and the convent there, or whatever they call it, monastery.
Wayland Priory.
He is like an invincible ninja man who sends wolves flying, and it's amazing. Like they go real far.
So we meet Martin, and we tell him that he is the son of the emperor, and his dad is dead.
And he's
that
like,
he needs
no
to be-
way.
Yeah, he needs to be coronated, and so he needs to come with us so we can get the Amulet of Kings, and he can light the dragon fires, and we can close the portals to Oblivion.
Like you do.
Yeah.
Yep. So the first thing we have to do is get back to Wayne and Priory so that we can go talk to our boy Joffrey again.
Mm-hmm. He's going to be so happy to see little baby Martin all grown up and king now.
Yay!
Yeah.
Well, it's not like they were close, Vanessa.
Would you say that Hagrid and Harry Potter weren't close?
Well, that's kind of different, isn't it?
It's exactly the same.
They
When-
they hung out together as he grew up. After he went back to Hogwarts.
Well, this is, when he goes back to Hogwarts.
Okay, but then Hagrid didn't know Harry before that, did he?
Sure he did. He carried little baby Hagrid in his motorcycle.
He carried baby Hagrid? What?
Baby Harry.
Remember when baby Harry carried baby Hagrid in his motorcycle?
Okay, I guess I haven't seen these later movies or
This like the Potter Baby spinoff where they're all babies.
Hey, anything can happen at Hogwarts. I bet you, if you look up right now, there is a fan fiction out there where everyone at Hogwarts turns into a baby.
Potter babies. Do a thing for you. Whopsa-doody whop.
Hey, that sounds amazing.
When your spell works kind of weird and you wish that Snape wasn't there.
I'm gonna be a wizard star. And I'm gonna fly a broom. And I'm gonna be a good witchy too. And I will be loving you.
So we get to Wayne and Priory, and what do you know? It's being attacked by cultists.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Like the father guy of it is just getting murdified right when you get there.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like running around screaming as these ninjas in red robes are attacking.
Did you have a lady run up to you?
I had an elf run up to me, didn't I? Oh no, the elf was from Kvatch.
Do
Someone
you
ran
think
up
that
to
an
me.
elf can't be a lady?
Okay, sorry, a male elf. I'm sorry. Did you have a lady run up to you?
Yeah, there was some lady, and she was like, "Oh no, they're attacking! Oh, good lordy! Oh, my stars and bloopers!"
I think it was a guy that ran up. But you know what? I've noticed they give the same line to multiple characters. So like sometimes you'll have a different voice actor and a different character say the exact same thing to you. So I wonder if it's just based on who ran into you first.
It very well could be. And this lady was being chased right on her heels. There was one of these cultists. But that killed him.
I like it when you enter in conversations too, that like if a cultist is right behind them swinging an axe, they'll just be frozen until the conversation's over.
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't want to interrupt someone's conversation. That would be rude.
Yeah. They're very considerate.
These cultists are very buggy.
Yep. I think it's a spell they have that puts armor on them, and when they die, the spell wears off and they go back to their robes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Right, but like they're like in mine, like they'll run up to me and just stand there and not say anything. And then I just have to kill them.
That's really weird.
That's weird.
Wow.
Yeah, it happened to me. I sent a picture in the in our group chat earlier this morning when I was playing. When I was leaving the cultist hideout, there was a cultist came up and it said that he was running away, but he was standing there staring at me. And like the like interact prompt came up to speak to him, and so I would try, and it's just said he's fleeing, but he was just standing there
Are
staring
you sure
at
it
me.
wasn't the Argonian who was going to be sacrificed?
Nope, it was the cultist like storeroom
Yeah.
guard.
Oh, okay.
And he was outside, right?
What?
Yeah, and he was outside.
Was it after you had gone into the cave, or was it before?
It was after I had slaughtered all of the cultists.
Okay, so I guess he ran away while you were doing that.
I guess.
And then he just ran out of energy?
I guess. He was like, yeah, he had a weird expression on his face. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in this game.
I love it. Oh man, I got some stories for you about stuff bugging out. That's amazing this time. But we'll get there when we get to each point.
So, the monks are all dead? Is that what's going on?
Well, not Joffrey. Joffrey can, hold his own.
Mm-hmm. I ran around until I found this monk, and he was like, "Where's Joffrey?" And that lady had told me that he was in the chapel.
Mhm.
And so we went to the chapel together to find him.
He was
And
praying.
he's fine.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
good.
he's fine. He's happy to see Martin.
He is. So he's like, oh no, let's make sure they didn't take the amulet. And he says there's a secret room, like where his office is or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you go in there and it's gone.
Is there a secret room?
There is, yeah. It's like behind a bookcase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that took me a while to find because like they don't really point you to where it is, so I had to walk around and figure out what looked like a secret room. And then once I walked in, like everything, all the scripted events started.
Yeah. So he says that the amulet's gone and you have to find it, but first you have to take Martin somewhere safe.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Where could be safe?
You have to take him to the Blades Fort, which is the Cloud Ruler Temple.
Mm-hmm.
Skyhold. Oh no.
It's in the mountains. You have to take him to High Hrothgar.
Hrothgar. Is that from something else?
That's Skyrim.
Oh, okay. I liked this little jaunt. They're like, oh, well, I guess now that Father Pieter or whatever his name is super dead, you can totally take his cute horso.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get to. There is a ghost encounter that people keep talking about on the road between Kvatch and Bruma, and I never got it to spawn. Did any of you see any ghosties?
I didn't see a ghost,
Me neither.
but I did hear tell of one.
Yeah, apparently that road is haunted. So I guess you have to be walking it at night.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I went to town and some people were like, "Oh, there's a ghost on the road."
Are they from Wisconsin?
That's how they talk in Skyrim.
Oh.
I mean, Oblivion.
Oh, don't you know?
Oh, there's
yeah.
a ghost. Oh, sure.
Oh, there's
Oh, yeah,
there's
it's
a
out
ghost
there.
over there that you want to give him a hot dish. I think that's what he wants.
Yeah. Winter's real cold, but he seems okay.
I can't do that accent. I'm sorry.
I can't either. And yet, here I am doing it.
Yeah.
For your listening pleasure.
So I did stop by. Oh, outside of Bruma, I had my first amazing AI encounter.
Tell me.
So these imperial archers that patrol the area, and they were locked in a deadly battle with each other.
Oh, no.
And I could sort of forensically piece together what happened because in between them was a dead imp.
Oh.
So one thing that's great with the AI in this game is if one NPC or enemy hits another enemy, they will fight each other.
Yes, they are not impressed with friendly fire.
No. And so these guys were shooting arrows at each other for about 20 minutes. And I was streaming it. I was trying to take bets on which one would win. And it was fantastic. I love this kind of dumb AI stuff. I could watch it for days. Like, I just find it hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And you can stop by Bruma or you can go straight on to the temple. I guess you could also do dungeons and stuff. Like, you have these invincible fighters with you. If you want to go through, clear out some forts, it's a good time to.
Yeah, just take Martin, who you're supposed to be protecting with your life, and put him in any kind of dangerous situation you want to.
Have you seen him fight things? They are destroyed immediately.
Well, yeah, he's an emperor.
Although maybe
Nothing
not,
beats an emperor.
because Vanessa's
Unless
like
it's
super
Patrick
high
Stewart, 'cause
level.
He died.
Maybe that'd be dangerous.
I was scared to take them anywhere. Anytime I have someone with me, they tend to either die immediately or get knocked out immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, this game has the fable. I have the fable problem with this game, which is that I keep accidentally hitting people I'm not trying to hit.
I do that too.
Oops, now the Imperial Legionnaires are trying to kick my ass again.
Oops. Do you keep forgetting to put your sword away when you're in town too?
No.
Oh, okay.
I use a big, giant two-handed sword.
Ooh.
Yeah, you do.
I like it. Yeah. Gotta get two hands on
Oh,
that
I found
thing.
out something I didn't know the first time I played this. Those stupid runes you get when you close an Oblivion gate, you can like apply them to your weapons.
Oh,
And they give 'em-
they do something.
They make them magics, so you can like each one has a different thing, and I think they get better as you get higher level. But yeah, like I have one of those Daedric maces from Oblivion, you know, like the big maces that the dudes are carrying, and I put something on it that makes everyone run away the second they're hit.
Oh.
Ooh, I like that.
I call it the inscarifying thunker or something. Oh, demotivating thunker.
It sounds inscarifying.
When you create a magic weapon like that, you just like use the rune on a normal weapon. You get to name it. So yeah, demotivating thunker.
Doesn't it make
Close
it
those
difficult?
Oblivion gates when you run across them?
Yeah, well, I've got it set to real easy, so like I can run through one of those in about 10 minutes usually.
What's
I
the
haven't
point?
run into random Oblivion gate.
I've run
Really?
into like 10 so far.
Yeah, I run into them fucking everywhere.
Well,
I've run into a handful of them.
here's what I think is happening with me.
Okay.
You don't get any random Oblivion gates until you do the first one.
Yes, that is true.
And I, before I did the first Oblivion gate, went everywhere. I've been to Coral, Lewin, Anvil, Bruma, you know, I've been everywhere. So I just fast traveled to Skyhold Temple. Cloud Ruler Temple.
Cloud Ruler Temple.
Cloud City. I fast traveled to Cloud City, and I'm fast traveling around all over the place. So I think maybe I haven't had a chance to run into any random gates because I don't need to travel by foot or horse anymore.
I thought there'd be like 10, but it looks like, I was reading up on the wiki, there are 10 fixed ones that are always going to be in the same location. Like I think there's always one right next to Cloud Citadel, for instance. And then there are up to 50 in one of 90 random locations.
That's crazy amount of gates.
And it takes, like, if you set it to normal difficulty, it takes like an hour to close each.
Yeah. I think
What do you
in
get
the
for
main
closing it?
You get the magic runes
You get those sigil stones.
that you can put onto your weapons and make them cool magic weapons.
and you get satisfaction.
Yeah.
But I think that to complete the main quest, you only have to do like 2 or 3 of them.
And so you kill Martin and the game ends.
I don't think you can kill Joffrey, but not Martin, right?
You can kill Joffrey?
I don't know. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can't. I'm just guessing.
Why would you? He's your best friend.
He's not the butler from Fresh Prince, and he's pretending to be. So screw that guy.
I lied anyway. Your best friend is Rabbit Fan.
What?
Or whatever his name is.
Who?
Bayazura, Bayazura, Bayazura.
What?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Thanks.
So where to next?
So Joffrey tells us that we need to go to the Imperial City to talk to a dude named Boris.
He also
Boris.
Joffrey's like there's a whole speech thing. Like Sean Bean gives a speech in front of the Blades, and it's like his first speech ever, and he does an okay job, I thought.
Yeah, it's a very humble
fine.
speech. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't know nothing about being no emperor, but I'm going to do my best and try to be worthy of you.
And then there's a little scene where the head of the Blades talks to you. Vanessa, I kind of want to role play this interaction. Could you be the chief inviting me to join the Blades?
Sure.
Okay.
You brought us Martin. You have surely proven your worth, John Brandon. I invite you to join the Blades.
Do I have to?
You have brought us Martin, and you have surely shown your worth, John Brandon. I invite you to join the Blades.
Is there a lot of duties involved in this?
Your duty is to serve the king, Martin, and I invite you to join the Blades.
I'm real busy.
You have brought us Martin and proven your worth. I invite you to join the Blades.
So I said no.
How come?
Oh, I already in a guild, and I got a lot of responsibilities. Like I don't have.
Your calendar's too
Yeah,
full to join the video game club.
Like, there's all these Oblivion gates opening everywhere. I'm already in the Fighters Guild, and that's a lot of responsibility. They expect me to be doing those contracts on time, and I've got to solve this mystery of the amulet that got stolen.
I became a blade so that I could go downstairs to their armory and rob them. And I did.
That's exactly what I did too.
But I did pick up those swords that they use, and I have a few, and I like them. That's my sword. I realized that you can't dual wield in this game, which sucks.
Oh, you can later in later Oblivions, right? Or Skyrims.
Yeah, you can in Skyrim. There's a whole skill tree for dual wielding. But I joined the Blades, and I got the big giant katana. They have like a two-handed katana that you can use, and it is rad.
Yeah.
And so if you, Matt, I would just recommend doing one dumb Oblivion gate real fast so you can get the, like a relic to put on that blade and make it even cooler. That's my pro tip.
Thanks. So on to paragraph 3 of these notes, I suppose.
Yep.
Yay!
So let's see. You're told to go to the Imperial City and talk to Boris, who will be in a place called the Luther Broad's boarding house.
Ooh.
With his friend
And when I
Natasha.
got there, he wasn't there yet.
He was
So
talking
it was-
about moose and squirrel.
John was tickled by that Rocky and Bullwinkle reference.
Yes, we must find amulet.
So when I got there, he wasn't there, and I tried to talk to that mean guy in the back of the room, and he wouldn't even talk to me. He's like, "Move along, friend." That guy you have to kill later.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you have to kill?
So when you get to the boarding house, Boris shows up and he says, "Don't say anything, just sit down next to me."
Oh, yeah.
And you go do it, and he's like, "There's a guy sitting behind me. When I get up, he's going to follow me. You follow him."
Mhm.
And then he walks to the basement, and when you get to the basement, it turns out he's a cultist, and you have to kill him.
Well, you could just stand there and watch Boris do it.
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
And the cultist has a book on him. It's what are these books called? Like the
Path of Dawn?
commentaries.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's
Mythic
Marcellus.
Dawn commentaries.
Yeah, but it's by Cornelius or Marcus Corothoribus.
Sure it is.
Mancar Cameron.
Yeah, that guy. That's what I
He's
said.
crazy.
He's an insane, like, Maroon's Dagon priest. Prophet.
I figured out the secret of them, so I didn't bother. Like, I just was like,
They will level up. They'll level up your
oh, I did
magic.
do that. Yes, I did read
Oh,
it.
yeah. So, you kill a man.
So
you kill a
we
man. That's where we left off.
murder the man in the basement. We don't tell anybody about it.
You hide his
We
body.
steal
rob
a
his
book
corpse.
from his corpse. And Boris tells us to go speak to a lady at the Arcane College. Her name is Tarmina.
Uh-huh.
And
She's
she's
a
supposed to
lizard
be
woman,
able
right?
to. She's an Argonian.
She's all, yes. she's a
Yeah,
Cobra
I kind
Commander.
of think it would be better if they did make them do that.
It really would be great. They need to go
It
all
would.
in on this stuff. I don't know
Oh,
why
yeah.
my kitty cat, why doesn't Felix meow? He meows in my head. He's always meowing. When he talks.
Like he hissed at enemies.
Yeah, when he talks to people, he's always like, he says meow instead of my. Like, meow, my head hurts. Meow, I'm gonna sneak back here and steal all your shit.
Tarmina says that in order to like divine the location of the secret Maroon's Dagon Shrine, we need all 4 volumes of this commentaries on whatever. Because that holds the secret to the cult secret base. So she says the 3rd volume is in like a bookstore, but the book is already sold to a guy named, I think his name is Gwynus? And
Sounds
you get there.
filthy, Jim. Gwynus.
Gwynus. You get there and he tells you that he doesn't want to give you the book, but as soon as you mention the Emperor is dead, he gives you the book.
Yeah, he's a real pushover.
Yeah, it's kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, a lot of the missions that I've had to do in this game have turned out to be kind of anticlimactic like this. Like, it's like, you have to go do this awesome sounding thing, and then you get there and it's just like, you talk to somebody. The end.
Yeah, it's really, it seems like a waste of time. to be honest.
So Gwyneth shows up and he's all like, yeah, I wanted that book.
Yeah, and you just tell him, because you're like, hey, can I have that book? And he's like, no, this is my book. And you're like, well, the emperor died and I need it. And he's like, oh, okay, take it. And so you need one more volume. You need volume 4. And Gwyneth tells you that he's supposed to meet a guy from the cult who calls himself the sponsor in the sewers, and that's where he was going to get the 4th volume. So you decide to go in his place with your friend Boris. And you have to do a cool jaunt through the sewers where you have to fight some crabs and some rats and a couple goblins.
I don't remember Boris coming with me, actually.
He insists, because when you get to the end of the dungeon where you're supposed to meet the cultist guy, he's like, I want to be the one to speak to the cultist.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you can insist on being the one to talk to the cultist or just let him do it. I let him do it.
I insisted that I do it. I was like, I don't trust you, you dumb old man.
I let him do it, and as soon as he walked into the room, he just killed the cultist.
Yeah.
He didn't even try to talk to him.
Yeah, he runs in and fucks everything up if you insist on doing it.
Yeah.
He's a real dumbass.
And so you kill a few of these cultists, and one of them has the 4th volume of the commentaries on him. And Tarmina is able to figure out what the secret code is.
It's like the first letter of every
It's the
word.
first word of like every paragraph.
Yeah, but isn't it the first letter of the first word spells out?
Oh, maybe you're right. And it says like be at Green Emperor Way at midday to where the tower touches the sky at midday or whatever to find the location of the secret shrine.
And it's really funny because you go there and you wait for the right time and it just like shows up on a statue. It's a map. And I'm very much like, somebody would have noticed this. This would be a huge thing. Like, there would be groups of people around it. Like, why does this thing glow? Where's it pointing to? Let's all go there. It's
a big, bright red map on the broad side of the shrine.
Yeah.
Outside of this big temple.
Not as secretive as they seem to think it is.
Yeah. And if this has been on there for like 1,000 years or whatever, a lot of people are going to where this map shows.
So, that's it, right? And then we go and we decide to join the cult. You betray Martin. The end of the game happens here.
Yep, you summon Marin's Dagon and he comes and enslaves all the races of Cyrodiil and everybody dies. The end.
Good game.
Yep. Squarely against.
So you join the cult.
What else happens? Yeah, so we get to the caves and we meet the cultist people, and they're very, I guess like the
trusting.
Yeah, they're very trusting. They're just like, hey, stranger, you want to join this cult? And you say yes, and they're like, all right, you're in. But they take all your stuff and they make you wear one of their stupid robes.
Oh, yeah, it's really annoying. I don't want to wear your dumb clothes. I have my sweet Dark Brotherhood outfit.
I have a question. So, and I feel like I know the answer to this question, but when you get to the end where the man-car Cameron guy is speaking, in order to like become a real part of the cult, you have to sacrifice this Argonian that's on the shrine. Did you kill this Argonian?
No, I'd saved him.
Really? I killed him with my bare hands.
You're an asshole.
I didn't have my weapons back yet. So, I killed all these cultists with my bare fists.
I used a lot of magic. Felix is a scumbag, but he is not a murderer. He's just kind of a shitty kitty that steals and...
Felix the shitty kitty.
Felix the shitty kitty. He's a big steel boy. He steals stuff all the time.
Oh, yeah. Vanessa gave us a hot tip that, before you speak to the cultist guy that takes all your stuff, you can just drop all of your equipment on the floor and then choose to hand him over your stuff, and then you can just pick your stuff up once that conversation's over. Which I did not do, but it's a good tip if you don't want to give a crazy cultist man all of your stuff and you don't want to have to fight with magic or barehanded.
I must have missed that tip.
Yeah, it seems plausible. Did Vanessa do it?
I don't know.
I think she did.
So he gives you the Mysterium Xerxes.
Yeah, you take it off the shrine. When you take it off the shrine, that's what drives all the cultists crazy, and that's when everybody decides to attack you.
Vanessa gave me the tip to just drop my stuff instead of letting the guy take it before you talk to him.
Yeah, we just talked about that.
And I decided I didn't do that, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to reload, so I'll see what happens. And basically, he leads you into the chamber with the guy preaching, and I just arrowed him in the back of the head. I got into sneak mode and did 4 times. No, it was a melee attack because I did 4 times damage and took all my stuff back. And then I tried to kill the preacher guy, and I don't think that's possible. I don't know. Did any of you do it?
Mm-mm.
I didn't, but I think Vanessa did.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it's not possible.
Are you sure? Because you can damage him for sure. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, he gives a big speech about everybody going to paradise.
But he's never been to
I
Mega.
guess that's where he goes.
Yeah. Where does he go? He calls it something paradise.
I don't remember.
Floston paradise.
Yeah, farts in
The
paradise.
Dallas multipass.
Where he can just kind of go and toot himself to death to his heart's content. So he goes to Toot Town, and we take the book back to Martin. We did it.
Did you all figure out the puzzle of the books?
No, well, I didn't read them.
Yeah, I didn't care.
So I figured out the first letter of every paragraph in the book meant something before the lady told me that, but I couldn't figure out where the Green Emperor Way was because it's not labeled anywhere, is it?
No, but I figured it was the Green Road.
I just went into my map. If you go into your quests and you hit A,
yeah, it'll
show it to you on the map. So that's what I do.
Well, it only does that once you've talked to the lady 4 times and she tells you how to solve the puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Because you can do it before that if you can figure it out yourself. And I got every section because there's a place on the world map called the Green Road, which is not the Green Way. That is something different, and that screwed me up. So I was trying to solve it over there, which is way south of the city. But yeah, that didn't work. I did figure it out eventually because the little arrow told me where to go because I was a dumb boy. Anyway, back to this cave. So I rescued that poor Argonian. As I'm an Argonian myself, I feel I am obliged to rescue every Argonian in this game. Did you all...
I killed that Argonian.
What?
I punched him in the head a couple times and he died.
Well, they ask you to, right? So what happens if you do sacrifice him?
They're just really nothing happens. I killed him and I took a couple pieces of gold off his body and then nothing happened. So I just walked up to the front of the shrine and took the book and then everybody freaked out.
Oh, do you think do they all leave? Is there some point where you could sneak by later and steal it without being noticed?
I don't know. Nobody was moving. They were waiting for me to do something, and I just didn't know what to do. So I just decided to take the book.
You're a monster.
I just killed them all, every single one of them, and I got this spell at the discount spell store. They seem just as good as regular spells. I got one to summon a scamp, they're really powerful when you summon them yourself for some reason.
Scampy?
What are they?
The scamps, the little imp guys that they throw the fireballs like in Doom.
They're called scamps?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
They're called scamps. The ones that throw fireballs are. And so I got them and they were killing cultists left and right. And then I had to do the run out where the Argonian kept being ahead of me, just running back and forth away from people because I let him live, but he can't fight. That was pretty fun. And I murdered my way out of that cult.
So did I, and I ran into I guess I missed it on when I was running through trying to find the exit, but there's a storeroom in there. And if you kill the storeroom guard, you can get his key, which I have, but I didn't go back to go into the storeroom.
Oh, I bet you find some fun stuff in there.
Yeah, I bet so. But I'm not a mage, and I feel like their stuff is all probably magic oriented. It's probably worth checking out, though.
Yeah, maybe there'll be some jewels.
Well, so that's it for the main quest. Does anybody want to talk about any specifics from their own little guilds that they may have done or anything else?
I have plenty. The first thing I did that was fun was I went and did like 5 or 6 of the fighter guild quests, and they're really good. The first one you get is to kill, well, it says that this lady's having a rat problem in her basement, and that sounds like every JRPG quest ever. But you get there, the lady's like, my beautiful rats are being attacked. So you have to go to her basement and save her rats, and then solve the mystery of how a mountain lion could be getting into her basement. And she is very upset, and blames...
this is the what guild?
Fighters Guild.
Oh.
And so you have to first you kill off the pack of mountain lions living outside, but that doesn't help. Then she suspects her neighbor, and you have to like follow. I love anytime this game makes you follow people to watch what they're doing. I find this really fun. You follow her Argonian neighbor, who is a poet, she writes pulp fiction, and you follow her. And she's dropping off raw meat by this hole that goes into the basement because she doesn't like that her neighbor has a bunch of rats. And it's fun accusing her. She tries to bribe you out of telling the truth to the lady who hired you, but I didn't take her bribe, even though she's an Argonian. I probably should, have some kindred spirit with her, but I do not. I do like that all the male Argonians sound like strong bad, though. That's pretty great. Have you talked to any Argonians in this game, Matthew?
I hate the Argonians. They're my mortal enemies because I'm a cat man and I want to eat lizards.
But the cat men also have the strong bad voice.
No way. They
both talk like this. Hey, what are you doing, buddy? Hey.
Terrible.
How do I type with boxing gloves on?
And so I solved that quest. The second quest is one where this guy's store keeps getting robbed, and it ends up that he's being robbed by his ex-employees. And there's not really much to that quest. He asks you to wait in the store to see if it gets robbed, and the employees just bum rushed me. I couldn't do anything but murder them all. And, that was it for the first 2 guild quests. Did any of you find the town where everyone got turned invisible?
Yeah, I haven't done the quest yet, but I ran into the town.
That one's really fun. I recommend doing it. I started with a spell called Detect Life, and, you'll need that to find the guy that you need to talk to finish that quest. 'Cause he's invisible. In the fort. Nearby. I closed a few more of those Oblivion gates. Did you find in Anvil the chapel where there's blood everywhere and bodies everywhere?
Yeah, I started that quest, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I just started that one.
That one, there's a prophet across the street who says that some evil ancient sorcerers come back to life, and that was the reason for the massacre, and that in order to stop him and resurrect the good guy, you have to go collect these runes.
Yeah.
And the only way to do it is to take a pilgrimage to all 9 shrines around the continent.
Oh, okay.
But I just haven't done the pilgrimage yet.
Oh, I think I might do that for my next quest. We can talk about that next time.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one.
That one looks pretty beefy. There's a guy that talked to me about vampires in Imperial City, but I didn't get super far with that. He wants me to break into this guy's house and confront him, but I don't have good enough lockpicking, and I don't know how to get through into his house otherwise. I wonder if there's a way through the sewers, maybe.
I don't know.
But I did buy a house in the waterfront, and I put a poll up as to what object I should collect for this game. So I've been collecting every single skull I found, and so far I only have 16. But I'm making a nice little display in the fireplace of every single skull I have. It's fantastic.
Even going through Oblivion, closing the Oblivion gates, you've only found 16 skulls?
Well, there's loose skulls. It has to be ones you can pick up. There's buckets of skulls and chained up skulls, but you can't take those. You can only take the ones that are just on a shelf.
Gotcha.
And I will take them no matter who it belongs to, because that's what I have to do. So that is my quest, SkullQuest. Jim, how was? Did you find any fun quests of your own?
I did do the first couple of Fighters Guild quests. I started the Anvil Chapel quest that we just talked about, and then I didn't do a ton of other quests, but I did try to clear some dungeons out. I did a couple dungeons, and it, like you expect there to be, you know, some decent loot at the end of any dungeon. There wasn't.
Yeah.
In either of these dungeons that I did, there's like nothing in them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did another one that I got stuck in, and I couldn't find a way out, so I had to load a save.
Oh.
I was like, I made it. This was a long dungeon, and it was full of traps, and it was huge. And I got to the end of it, and I got attacked by a bunch of ghosts, so I just ran and kept going, and I got to the end, and there was nothing in it, and then I was trapped. I couldn't get out, so I had to load a save, and I was like, I ain't going back in
Those
there.
ghosts legit freak me out.
They're pretty spooky ghosts.
Like the first time I encountered them was under that chapel with all the bodies, and
Oh yeah.
their basement is full of ghosts. I do not like it.
How do you kill them? Can you kill
Yeah,
them?
I just use fire magic, flare.
Oh, I haven't used any magic on them.
Oh.
This is some interesting stuff, guys. I've been listening intently.
I've been journaling my Dark Brotherhood quests.
Journaling?
Like
Yes.
keeping a diary.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh boy,
Diary.
Matthew Notes. Yay, it's Matthew's
Yes.
Notes. Yay.
Please share with us.
So the first thing that's really important to know is that when you're a Dark Brotherhood person, I guess that now I worship a god called the Night Mother. I don't know what she is, but it really creeps me out. Like it's really maternal. Like the Night Mother birthed you into the canal of this dark universe. And so in my notes, I started referring to her as the Deadly Grandma, because she's a deadly old fucking lady.
The Night Mother sounds like some real Coheed and Cambria lyrics.
The whole Dark Brotherhood is very familial, right? They're very affectionate with you.
Yeah, your first buddy is a vampire.
My
Who,
buddy is a vampire. Da 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 da.
by the end of this little run of quests that I did, he offered to make me into a vampire. And I don't know if I should accept that or not. I'm kind of hoping that our listeners will decide for me.
Ooh,
That's
so-
a great idea.
If somebody wants to write in or just post on the Facebook group and let us know, should Matthew's kitty cat man become a vampire kitty cat man?
Yeah. Jorgie, put up a poll.
Jorky. So the first quest that you have to go on, you have to kill a guy named Rufio. And I got really excited and I went to go meet him and I was like, Rufio. And then I stabbed him. And it wasn't actually hard at all. And he was just kind of in a house alone. It's like he wanted to die.
Anyone in a house alone wants to die.
Oh, no.
So there's a the next mission that the vampire gives you sounds amazing. My job is to go to the Imperial City and totally kill a pirate.
Nice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't turn out to be amazing because he's just a dude asleep in a boat.
Was he wearing a shirt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most people in this game wear shirts.
No,
Was it
I met a pirate
Puffy?
outside and he didn't wear a shirt and I just wanted to arrest him.
Oh.
I was really stoked for this one, and then it just turned out to be like, pick this lock, now stab this sleeping man. The end.
Do they get better?
Yeah, well, hang on. I'm trying to look at my notes a little bit. Give me a
Oh,
minute.
golly.
Oh, sorry.
So the next request was really interesting, too. They decide that I have to kill a guy. Now they're offering me bonuses by doing certain things. So this guy is going to be sitting in a chair between the hours of 8 and 11, and I have to sneak into his house, sneak past his butler, and get into a air vent or something, whatever.
Yeah.
And you have to unscrew a big mounted head and drop it on his head so that he gets a squish.
That sounds amazing. That sounds like Hitman.
It does sound like Hitman.
The worst part about it was that you don't actually get to see the death, and I really wanted to see it. I got to see the aftermath, but I didn't get to see the death itself because I was
no moment of squishery.
Do you just see his like
good
body at the table with a big thing on top of it?
You just hear like squeaky squeaky bunk. It's like a Wilhelm scream. About this point, I go back and I get my bonus from my quest guy, and it's like a necklace or something, and I realized I don't think anybody's actually paying me for these assassinations. My gold is not increasing.
Oh.
They're just giving me shit. Give me money, motherfucker. I'm an assassin.
I get money for my Fighters Guild quest.
Yeah, but being an assassin isn't a job. You're part of a family now.
Yeah,
So
you're a brotherhood.
then
It's about fraternity.
I got a new quest that I was really excited about. I had to sneak into the prison via the sewers, the same way we got out, and I had to go assassinate the guy from the beginning of the game in the cell across from you.
Oh, nice.
The one that I decided I was definitely going to go back in and kill anyway. So this worked out really well for me, and it was a lot of fun. And again, if I wanted the bonus, I had to like be sneaky and not let anybody see me, which was fine. But you get back to your old cell. He's still there in the cell across from yours, and he's talking to a guard. Tomorrow is his day of release after 11 years. And then I shot him with a lightning bolt from across the room, and he got a dead.
Terrible.
He died.
Oh.
And I was very happy about it. I hissed at his grave. I was like, That's what I told you. And then the last quest I did not assassinate somebody. I faked an assassination. What?
That's not how you assassin?
I don't know how this guy convinced the Assassin's Guild to help him out, but basically the gist of it was you use the old poison blade trick that makes you seem like you're dead.
Ooh.
You have to kill it, like mock kill him in front of a assassin from like a criminal gang or something like that so that they'll think he's dead. And then you have to go to the Undercroft and whatever the chapel is. I think it's in Coral or something like that. The next night and get him. And once you get him, he's like, by the way, all of my ancestors are buried here, and they're probably going to consider this a desecration since I faked my death. And then you get attacked by a bunch of zombies. It's really dumb. But I got out, and that was it. I raised a couple of ranks as a kitty cat assassin, and I have convinced them that I'm on their side, even though really... you have to keep in mind that with Felix, this is just a big comedy of errors. He has no idea how he's ended up doing these things. He's just trying to get by.
I did another Fighters Guild quest where you have to bring equipment to these fighters in this mine that's really close to, what's it? Chadrinal? The,
Cheridol.
that place. Anyway, so I get there and there's a guy who's like, you have 3 weapons. The lady's like, I'll take the bow. And then you have 2 other guys, and one's like, I really like blades for cutting. And the other one's like, I really like hammers and smashing. And you can give either one, whichever weapon of the 2 you like. So you can give the hammer one to the hammer guy or not. I did the lame thing and did the weapons they like. But then they clear out this mine full of goblins, except that I lost them. And I could hear them fighting, but I couldn't find out where they were. And one of them died. And the guy at my guild quest guy was like, you let somebody die. If you keep doing that, you're going to get kicked out of the guild.
Oh, no.
I was like, well, I just tried my best.
Yeah, that's way harsh.
I'm sorry. Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah. I meant to mention that I got kicked out of the Mages Guild. I got suspended.
Why?
How did you even get into it in the first place?
Well, I joined the Mages Guild because because I'm making a magic assassin. That's my whole deal.
Yeah.
I'm making a wizard assassin who
That's
also
cool.
does good stabs. But I accidentally, listen. So I'm at the guild hall in one of the towns talking to the guild master, and I accidentally tried to pickpocket them. And by accidentally, I mean I absolutely tried to pickpocket them on purpose. And I got caught, and I got suspended, and I had to go pick flowers to get readmittance, and I was really fucking annoyed about it.
Felix, the hardened assassin, just picking flowers in a field.
Yes.
Being like, meow, 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 meow.
And in reality,
Felix,
it was, I Googled it, and the places to go get these things where there were a bunch were out in the middle of fucking nowhere, so I spent an hour doing this goddamn quest.
Well, serves you right.
I was just trying to steal a book back that I had stolen from somebody so that I could get, I was trying to have my cake and eat it too. I wanted my recommendation letter for the guild, but I also wanted to take that book back and give it to the lady so that she would give me money, which she didn't do. Nobody in this game gives me money.
Well, I got lots of money, and I'll tell you how.
I would love to know how.
I've been doing my job for the Thieving Guild. The Thieves Guild has sort of two ways to do your job. Way number one is you just steal whatever you want, and you sell it to your fence. You're assigned a fence. The first one is in Bruma, I think.
Ongar the Sad or something like that, or the
you don't know
World
me?
Weary.
You don't know my fence?
Ongar the World Weary.
Yeah, that's him. So,
and he constantly is like, I want to go back to bed.
Because he does, and I relate to that.
He legit does, though. It's so stupid.
And once you get to a certain level of fenced goods, you get special missions. So a couple, I won't go through all of them because there's too many. A couple interesting ones. I was sent to retrieve something called the Arrow of Extraction. And in order to get that, I had to go check out the court mage in Breville. His name is Faithus Aaron. But Faithus Aaron, he's not very good at his job because he's never around the court. He just goes somewhere else. So you kind of go around and you talk to the castle people, the servants and things, and you're like, what's up with this Faithus dude? And they're like, I don't know. So I snuck around and went into his room, and I found a secret passage.
Ooh.
And I picked his lock and made my way through his secret passage, and he has this whole tunnel system full of monsters and Daedra and all kinds of stuff. And as a member of the Thieves Guild, you're not supposed to kill anyone while you're on your mission, but it's okay to kill animals and monsters and whatnot. So I snuck through and I shot a whole bunch of people with my arrow. And then I went, it kind of opens up into this wizard lair place, and you have to go through there, and there's all kinds of conjurers in there. And I think it's actually okay to shoot them as well, because they're considered just random mobs. They're not, named characters.
And they're hostile to you.
And they're hostile. So it's self-defense.
Yeah.
Even though they never see me, because I just shoot them from the shadows. But if they had seen me, they would have tried to kill me. And so that's legitimate self-defense.
After you killed a bunch of their fucking friends.
They can't prove that. So then I got outside and I was like, oh, how am I going to get this thing from Faithus? Because he was standing at a table and it was right in front of him. But it turns out I had joined the Mages Guild at that point, so I just walked in front of him, and he's like, greetings, Brother Mage. And I'm like, what's up? And then I took his Arrow of Extraction, and he was like, okay, goodbye. Because once you join a guild, everything that belongs to that guild member is yours as well, basically. There's, no personal possessions.
I found the Mages Guild in particular to be a great source for robbing of things that you're not actually robbing. I just take everything that is laying around, which I'm allowed to do, and then I go and sell it. That's the only way I've found to make money in this stupid fucking game.
They got a lot of money, so I got that arrow. Then I was sent to retrieve an item called the Boots of Springheel Jack.
Ooh.
Great name. So in order to get these boots, they were like, well, Springheel Jack was this great famous thief, and he's really known for his boots. And I'm like, cool beans. Tell me where he is, and I'll go ask him for his boots or whatever. And they're like, well, he's dead. And he's heckin' dead. And he's been dead for years and years and years. But you can maybe go to this place where his last known ancestor lives and figure out if he knows anything about him. So I went to the Imperial City, and there's a house there with the ancestor dude, and I just kind of strolled into his house, and I guess I picked the lock on it, and he saw me, and he flipped the fuck out, and he was like, "Oh my god, a thief! Oh no, please don't kill me, thief! Please don't kill me! Wah, wah, wah!" And I was like, "Oh, listen here, you tell me where these Spring Heel Jack boots are, or I'll give you what for." And he's like, "I don't know anything about any boots, but the family crypt is in the basement. I guess if he's dead, he's down there. Please don't kill me, Miss Thief." So I was like, okay, I'm not going to kill you, because that's against Thieves Guild rules. So I went downstairs into the crypt, and wouldn't you know it, but there was a vampire down there. And not just one, there were a couple of them. So I killed the vampires, and I went over and found the coffin of Spring Heel Jack, and I cracked that mother open, and it was empty. And then I turned around, and who should be standing there but the cowering ancestor? And he's like, "What up? It's me, Spring Heel Jack. I'm a vampire. I'm gonna kill you now."
Oh no.
So he did try, but I kill him instead. And then I took his boots. It wasn't a very good sneaky, thiefy mission. It was more about killing a bunch of vampires. But I got my loot, and so I was satisfied. And I also went upstairs to his attic, and he has a diary there where he's like, "What up? I'm Spring Heel Jack. I am a great thief. I thieve all by myself. Except I used to have a partner, I think, but I don't remember his name or his face. It's kind of weird." So that was strange.
Well, I guess nothing will come of that.
Probably nothing will come of that. And the only other thing that's going on is there's this guard in the Imperial City named Lex. He's the guard captain. And
Hieronymus Lex.
Hieronymus Lex, that's him. Mm-hmm. He harasses the thieves all day long. And so they have me, like, mess with him by going and taking the money that he took from the poor back and redistributing it. Or, moving his stuff around and putting notes around, being like, "The Gray Fox is going to get you, fool." And it really irritates him. And he's like, "Fox!"
Yeah, Lex does keep bragging about his super fancy armor. Can you steal that?
I have not tried to. I'm not sure if you can, but yeah, he is obsessed with the Gray Fox, who is the leader of the Thieves Guild, supposedly, but I haven't seen him. Everyone is just like, "The Gray Fox. He exists, yo." And I'm like, whatever.
Everyone's like, he's just made up to frighten children.
Yeah, he's just a story.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are the things what I stole.
Ooh.
All right.
What about
so is
Jimmo?
that everybody?
No, Jimmo. He's got a guild.
No, I did. I said stuff.
What was your guild?
I joined the Fighters
That's
Guild.
what he said, but he didn't say anything of what he did in it.
Well, John already explained the first couple quests I did.
Oh.
Did anybody do any Mage Guild quests?
Well, I did all of them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I did the first few. I did a bunch of the cities. I'm not sure how many there are. So to join the Mages Guild, you can join at any guild hall, but then you have to get letters of recommendation to go to the Imperial Academy, or whatever the hell it is. You have to get letters of recommendation from each guild hall in each city. And I don't know how many there are. I've gotten like 6.
There's a whole bunch.
Jesus.
And I think the most interesting quest of the joining the Mage Guild is you go to this place and the guy's like, "Oh, you want a letter of recommendation? Okay, I sent this other apprentice to get this ring and he hasn't come back, so go get the ring and then we'll be cool." And you can sort of walk around the Mages Guild and you talk to this one lizard and she's like, "Hey, did he tell you to go get that ring?" And you're like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Listen, I have a couple things for you." And she teaches you a spell that gives you water breathing, and it also gives you 50 points of feather, meaning you can carry 50 extra pounds. So you go out behind this Mages Guild, and there's a well there. And I dove into the well. I used my water breathing power, and in the well is the drowned corpse of the last apprentice.
Oh.
And if you search his corpse, you find this ring that the guy wants. And it's called the Ring of Burden, and it adds like 200 pounds to your inventory or something like that.
Yeah, it's 150 pounds.
Yeah. So first, even with my extra 50 pounds, I couldn't move. So I had to drop it and swim out of the well and basically take off every single thing that I owned and dive myself naked back into that well and then get the ring and bring it back up and carry it naked into the Mages Guild Hall and present it to the guy. But the guy had like run away by that point because he was like, oh shit, they're on to me. I've been fucking with these apprentices, sending them to die in the well.
Oh.
So the lizard lady is now in charge. And she was like, oh, just drop that ring anywhere. Nobody wants it. It's super dumb.
Yeah, I don't think she teaches you the spells. I think she just gives you some scrolls.
Oh, does she?
Yeah. And I didn't realize that she had given me the water breathing scroll because I didn't use that, and it was a big pain in the ass.
Oh no. Yeah, it was an interesting little quest. They're all interesting, but that one is particularly memorable to me.
I did one where you have to go meet some battle mages, and then they like use you as bait for some serial killer.
That's not cool.
Mage, and it was okay. And when we were fighting the woman who turned out to be the serial killer, a guard came along, got involved in the proceedings, and then, after we killed the women, the battle mage and the guard, they tried to fight it out for a while until finally the battle mages killed the guard.
Oh, no.
Because they had like a skeleton or something, a summoned beast of some kind, and I don't think the guard liked that.
Oh, yeah.
He really wanted to kill that zombie or whatever it was.
They mention a lot around the Mages Guild that necromancy isn't outlawed in the Empire, but the Mages Guild frowns upon it. And I think that includes all kinds of summoning.
Oh, but I love summoning my scamps. It's so fun.
Yeah, I see people with summoned rats and stuff like that.
What, just walking around?
Yeah, in the Mages Guild. And in the there's one in the Assassin's Guild too. It's weird.
Yeah, he has a
All
name.
Right. Yeah. And that name is
Scampers. It might not be. Something like that.
I think that's it for our quest log for this week, guys.
I think so.
We did it.
Are y'all enjoying Oblivion so far?
Yeah, I really am having fun.
Yeah, I get sucked into it for like hours at a time.
How about you,
Yeah,
Jimbo?
it's really clicking for me too. Like I feel like I'm only kind of scratching the surface of all the stuff you can do, but it's fun.
I've been bouncing around between doing Mage Guild quests and Thieves Guild quests and Assassin's Guild quests and the main quests.
Are you crazy? Who does all the guilds? That's nonsense.
I'm not doing the Fighters Guild because I don't care about that, but I want access to the fences, and I have to do the Dark Brotherhood, and I want better spells, so I'm kind of stuck doing all of them. Well, anyway, John, are there any bullshit minigames for your corner this week?
No.
Well, then we should probably talk about what we're squarely against. You could be
What
squarely
about
against
my
the lack of
Daedric
minigames.
corner?
Yeah.
You have a
what
Daedric
about
corner?
Yeah, Vanessa has a Daedric corner.
Vanessa's Daedric corner. I went myself to the shrine of Azura. Azura is the Daedric prince of like dawn and dusk. Azura is a lady, but she's still called a prince because that's how it works in Daedric hierarchy. And I talked to Azura. You have to give her some glow dust. At every shrine, basically, the followers there, if you talk to them and get them to like you, will be like, oh, if you want to talk to this Daedric prince, you gotta bring such and such. So she likes glow dust. I brought it to her. She spoke to me and she was like, hey, a while ago, I sent my followers to this cave to clear it out of vampires. And they did a great job. They're really cool. I hate vampires. They killed them all. But in the process of doing so, they became vampires themselves. So do me a solid and go to the cave and clear it out of them. Because they're now vampires. And I was like, well, that seems a little... And she's like, nope. They deserve to rest, and they'll come and live with me in my realm of Oblivion. Just go ahead and kill them follower vampires. So I did. I snuck around, and I shot them with arrows. It's a great way to kill vampires. And then I went back and talked to her, and she gave me her artifact, which is called Azura's Star. And Azura's Star works like a soul gem. A soul gem is something that if you cast soul trap on a beast and then kill it, so long as you have a empty soul gem, its soul will go into the gem and you can use it to charge up your weapons and things like that, recharge your magical items. And Azura's Star is a reusable one of those.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
It's very handy. That's my Daedric corner.
That sounds pretty good.
Good work.
So what's next, guys? Are we going to do squarely against?
I think so.
Squarely against. Mm-hmm.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay.
I am roundly for dropping all of your weapons right before someone demands that you hand over all your possessions, and then picking them back up again. I did this, as listeners who were paying close attention will remember. I discussed it in detail earlier in the episode. And it was great because I was all set to go. He handed me the robes, and then I was like, just turn around while I put these on. Clank, clink, clank, 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 clank. And picked up all of my stuff and then followed him in. Once I got to the shrine, they were like, pick up that silver dagger and kill that there Argonian. And I'm like, okay. So I walked up to the Argonian and set her free. And then I was like, change. Because, you know, you can pause the game and just kind of like, they stood there while I changed into all my armor and got out my powerful sword and everything. And then I turned around and was like, surprise. And I killed them all. It was great.
Excellent work.
Thank you. But more in general, I am roundly for the way that you can choose different ways to go through this dungeon. Because it is implied at the beginning that you can say, rather than saying, okay, here's my stuff, you can be like, I'm not here to join your cult, and then just kill them at that point.
Do you still get to see the speech, though, from Mankar Cameron if you do that?
I don't know.
I think if you are, because I killed the guy right when I got into that room. But he was still talking because no one saw me kill that guy. So I think if you're sneaky enough, yeah, you can get in there.
That's cool.
I like sneaking.
Are you roundly for sneaking?
Well, we'll get to my squarely against.
Yeah, John, what are you squarely against?
Okay, so there's a part where Boris asks you, he's like, hey, I can do this deal with to get the fourth book, or you can do it. And I'm like, okay, how about you do the deal and then I'll cover you from up the stairs. So like you can snipe at the guy. I walk in there to go up the stairs. Maybe I took the wrong stairs because as soon as I walked in, Boris sat down. I walked in to go up the flight of stairs so I could cover him. And then just people started yelling at me. They're like, we told you to come alone. And then we had to kill everybody right away. So I didn't get to do any sneaky, fun assassination type things. And I was very disappointed.
Oh, unfair. I convinced him to let me sit at the table because I was like, look, I'm the head of every single guild in the Empire. And I'm the Daedric Prince of Madness. And I'm the hero of the 9. So how about you let me sit down at the table, rando dude? And he's like, cool. You do it. So I went and I sat down and the guy came out and started talking to me. He's like, oh, so you want to join the cult? And then I heard, I told you to come alone. And they just start attacking him.
So maybe that quest is just glitched.
I think that it's scripted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so. Like he tries to kill them or something. Like he's a dummy.
Ah, okay.
I told you to dumb alone.
Matthew, what are you squarely against?
Think.
I don't know. I don't have anything.
Think. You were squarely against that pirate quest not being as piratical as you anticipated.
I mean, I definitely was squarely against that being a really weak quest when it sounded so amazing. And in Roundly 4, do you ever get spells that are like area of effect instead of just like a bolt?
No, I haven't got any yet.
I haven't either, and the bolt spells are so hard to aim. The aiming in this game sucks. That's what I'm squarely against. Squarely against shitty aiming on this very clearly made for PC game that does not play very well on the Xbox 360.
I'm using a mouse.
Aiming is a huge pain in the ass. What about you, Jim?
I'm roundly for the Cult Quest, playing the Cult Quest at the difficulty level that I have it on, which is like the lowest difficulty, because I executed the Argonian with one punch, and then I one-punched every other cultist. I didn't even get my equipment back. I just punched every cultist in the head and they died.
Jim's playing at that special Super Saiyan race that he modded into his game.
Yeah, and it's super fun. And it's fun to just like punch all of these cultists and watch them die and then see the little flashes of your what do they call it when you're not using a weapon? Like you're barehanded,
Yeah.
like see your barehanded just level up because you're executing so many people with your fists.
I can't do that normally, but if I'm in sneak mode, I can one punch like a rat or a crab to death, and I really enjoy doing that. Just sneaking up behind them and being like, punch!
It's really fun.
You know what else is really fun?
What's that?
Being a patron.
Patreon plug.
Yeah.
Being a patron.
Oh man, if you are a patron, you are in sweet, sweet bliss this week with our very special Good Son level up.
Actually, it would have been,
It's
when
a
this
good
comes
one.
out, that would be last week's level
It's
up.
true.
They're probably still in bliss from listening to it last week.
I haven't heard it yet. I'm not on it. I assume that a bunch of my great jokes that I was texting you while you were recording it made it onto the...
Yes,
Show
you're
them.
We did a whole segment about whatever the hell vaginal eggs were.
Oh.
Matt
The
was
Goop Son.
sober texting us from the NFL
Oh,
game
boy.
that he was at.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, it was a college football game. They don't do NFL games on Saturdays. Second of all, I opened so many beers yesterday that I have a tiny little bruise underneath my fingernail
Oh, no.
from popping them tops.
Oh, are we reading the patron names?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course we
always
are.
do,
But we
every
should
week.
probably...
We always do. I thought we did it every other episode.
Nope.
We should probably finish plugging the Patreon, which is to say, send us money.
If you'd
Oh,
like.
yeah. If you don't want my computer to crash, send us money and I'll get a new one.
You can hear us talking about the Good Son. You can listen to our bi-weekly Level Up podcast. You can listen to our monthly Square Roots Versus episodes and Instant Classic Revival, all by subscribing to our Patreon at the appropriate patron level.
I think we're doing
If you'd like to learn...
Have we announced what game we're doing for the Versus this month? Didn't
Like
something win,
18
John?
times.
Yeah, we're playing Pool of Radiance for the Versus this month, so that'll be
Out at the end of September.
fun.
Yeah. So basically, we all got to devote. We're going to play it for like 5 hours and sort of get a sense of the game and something like that. We can all do it.
Mm-hmm.
All of us.
So one of the rewards for being a patron is that we read your name on the show at the end of the episode, which John Brandon's going to do right now.
Yeah.
Wait, but before he does that, if you want to have your name read,
yeah.
and if you want to listen to all the sweet podcasts, episode bonus stuff that we just talked about, check out the Patreon at patreon.com/squarerootspodcast.
There's got to be like 12 bonus episodes or something by now, 10 or 12.
something like that. I got a pretty healthy back catalog.
3 a month. It's a pretty good number. It's basically an entire second show.
Hello, friends. I'm interrupting the regularly scheduled podcast because the list was wrong, and I wanted to make sure it was the most update list. So as of September 16 at about 6 p.m., This here is the most up-to-date list of patrons. So, Aaron Bachman is the best. Andrew Wyant, though, also the best. Artie Pavlov is, according to testing, clinically the best. Ashley W., where W stands for we are the best, meaning Ashley because she speaks in the royal sense. Benzoni's actually middle name is Bezina Best Benzoni. Bree Girth is, it's interesting. I don't know if you know this. Bree Girth's actually the best as well. Brian Pitt is the best. Brian Stone, according to this Ancient Stone text I've read, is the best. Brody Toy, the best. Cameron Show, also the best. Kiva Moser is actually statistically the best. Cody Wade is known as the best colloquially. David Green, the best. David Pascal, the best. David Shook, the best. Devin Sloan, the best. Dylan Rice is the best. Eric Garb is the best. G. Bailey stands for Greatest Bailey. Gregory is the best. Jake Dickerson is Jake Greaterson. James Hostetler is Girdle Escher best. James Plett, well, we know each other. He's the best. Jonathan Ellsworth, also the best. Joseph A. Rogers is Joseph Amazing Rogers. Josh Anderson is great. Julia Zanella is Julia Awesomeella. Julian Titus, however, is the best. And Justin Benoit is le best. Justin Ham is Ham on Amazing. Vanessa's mom's the best, obviously. Matt Jorgensen. I mean, it's Matt. He's awesome. Mecha Khan is Mecha on Fire. Megan Sullivan, simply the best. Meredith Anderson is fantastic. Miguel Torres is top of the charts. Mothma of Mon Calamari is actually the best. Nathan Poirot has uncovered the mystery of who is the best, and it is him. Nick's the best. Patrick Coover is fantastic. Patrick W. Bears, the W stands for wonderful. Race Jenkins won the race of being fantastic. Randy Pierce has pierced my heart, and I think he's awesome. Resty Kamada is wonderful. Robert M. Pullum is fantastic. Robert T. is terrific. Ross Hartley is heavenly. Sam Harrison is good. No, he's fine. He's awesome. Sam Mitchell is aquatically the best. Stu Skeel is the best in Pennsylvania. I don't know if you know this. Tom wins world records for being incredible. Tracy Tanoff, terrific. Tyler Petty, pretty amazing. Vanessa's mom, in quotation marks, is questionable. Ward Childress is A+ number 1. Wonder Swan, it's no wonder he's wonderful. Xavier Krieger is pretty great. Finally, the best is Cyril the Wolf. Ow.
Hello.
That's it for this week's episode of Square Roots. If you'd like, you can reach us at our Gmail, squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to come interact with us on Facebook, our Facebook group is the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people, or you can tweet at us. We are at Square Roots Pod. Big thanks to Christopher Niskala for providing the theme to this series, the 8-bit chiptune medley of the Oblivion soundtrack. Check out Christopher's Patreon at patreon.com/Chris Niskala. And links to the Patreon as well as his YouTube and SoundCloud are in the show notes.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes where you listen to podcasts. If you screenshot your review and post it on the Facebook group or Twitter, I'll tell you how you leveled up.
All right, everybody, that's it for this week's episode of Square Roots. Next week, we're playing to... where?
Oh, yikesy.
Uh-oh.
I forgot to look it up.
While she's looking that up, let's discuss something that I've been thinking about for the last few days. Guys, is Square Roots the Kefka of podcasts?
Why? Okay, defend your thesis.
Because we're fucking bonkers and drunk on our own power, and because I'll murder you if you disagree. I mean,
maybe you're the Kefka of the host.
Oh, no. What villain does that make you?
Does that make me Kuja?
No.
Can I be? I'll be Garland then.
Garlic?
Garland, or maybe what's his name from
Jim's
Final
that
Fantasy IV?
hipster douche from Final Fantasy 15. Arden.
No.
What? Tom Baker.
Yeah, listeners, you couldn't see it, but Jim just tipped his hat to us. I think he
did.
mumbled "milady" underneath his breath.
My sleeves are so big. You can
Hi,
fit
I'm the Sin.
10 babies in here.
What the fuck?
You're
I'm a
Sin?
great big whale. I'm the Sin of the podcast.
Glug glug.
Whale don't go glug glug. Whale go.
Sure they do.
And John's the genie from Final Fantasy 3.
Yay! That's all I've ever wanted.
Where are we playing to next time,
We'll play
Vanessa?
to the end of
Sancre Tor.
the ancient alien ruin
What?
of.
Sancre Tor.
Is that in Oblivion?
Cool.
No, that's the Star Trek episode that you're supposed to
Oblivion.
watch up to, John.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
For this, our Star Trek
Let's
podcast.
go to
Sancre Tor.
All right, well, next time we'll be playing to...
Sancre Tor.
And otherwise, we'll check you guys later for Square Roots.
I'm Felix
Joe Banks.
Cat.
I'm Johnny Brandon.
And I'm Vanessa. Bye. Last time on Square Roots, we bust out of jail, bust up some assassins. I have to start over. I said assassins.
You said Astastins.
Assassins.
All right. Take two.
All right, this is Square Roots episode 126, intro, take 2.
All right.
Clap, clap, clap.
Shall we clap again or shall I just go?
There's no reason to clap.
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
Here I go.
You got it. You want it, Beanie. You got it.
Gotta bust the move. My best friend Harry had a brother Larry. I don't remember this.
Those aren't the words.
Okay, once again, Google it.
But you standing on the wall like you was Poindexter.
Stones.
that you can put onto your weapons and make them cool magic weapons.
And you get satisfaction.
Yeah.
But I think
Hold
that
me.
to complete the
And
main
then just
quest,
touch
you only
me
have to do like
until
2
I
or 3
get
of them.
my
You
satisfaction.
can't get no.
Satisfaction.
You can't get no.
Satisfaction.
You can't get no.
Satisfaction.
You can't get no.